Hi, my name's Mr. Campbell. What you're about to witness is a structural engineering class. We did a boat race. We're going to do a boat race.
This project is cardboard boat racing.
The boats are made out of cardboard, paper tape, and Elmer's glue. They have been waterproof treated. We're hoping that they will float and make it all the way across. We're not holding out great hopes. We think it could happen. The idea behind this was to teach students about the structures of additional things. So far this year we've studied towers, we've studied bridges, and we've studied houses. So we wanted to give them something that they would learn about in terms of a vehicle, something other than the obvious.
Me, Edwin Carrero, Miguel Camacho, and Antonio Dunn, we built the boat along with Justin and Jared and Victor, Quentin, and Joe. So we all had boats to build during our period, and now we're racing it now as our final.
They had to learn about buoyancy, they had to learn about water displacement, and they also had to learn about how many cubic feet they could use to make a structure and make it float to accomplish 450 pounds of weight.
We built the boat, we made cardboard, we folded the cardboard, taped the cardboard, water sealed it, we ended up painting our boat. We painted it, plasti dipped, we put a flag on it.
We had to build boats out of water-soluble things like cardboard. So cardboard, Elmer's glue, waterproofing tape, and waterproofing spray were the only things we're allowed to use. We could also paint it if we wanted to, but now we have to race it.
We use a lot of plasti dip, and plasti dip's like a rubber material, so it's going to seal it, and the water won't get through.
Personally, I don't know that they have done all of the structural things correctly. We've talked about a lot of things, but I think they've under-accounted for the movement of a liquid surface beneath them, and that is what we will probably wind up finding out about. So we'll talk about it and reflect on it, and then we'll go from there. So they'll get a real good lesson in a lot of different fields like math, physics, as well as engineering and utilizing tools and materials that are not built to float.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ian Morris along with Randy Wismer. We are live from the Norristown Area High School pool for the first annual Rich Campbell Cardboard Boat Regatta. Quite an event we have here taking place, Randy. What do you think?
I'm thinking that these boys' boats are looking good and they are ready to get in the water.
Well, this is, like we said, a unique competition, so we would like to introduce the participants first here. In lane 1, we have the 3Js, led by Justin Nagel, Josh Klicka, and Jared Coletti. Eventually, you'll see in lane 2, Shoulda Listened, headed by Quentin Turner and Double J, Joe Jardine. Lane 3 is a solo boat led by Anthony Williams, and pardon the pun, but the name of the boat is Han Solo. Looking at the boat so far, Randy, is there a favorite that sticks out in your head right now as far as somebody you think that has an advantage over the other boats?
I don't think that Han Solo has quite the advantage because it's already fallen apart. But the other guys, pretty good competition.
So it's certain to say could be anybody's match. I don't know really what we call this, or I guess we'll call it a race, so to speak. Living in this particular area, those of you listening may or may not be aware, this is a famous place for a regatta every late spring in the Schuylkill River. I don't think that the people that are part of the Regatta Association feel threatened in any way by what's taking place here at the high school. Now, Randy, what do you think it's going to take for a successful boat run today for these guys?
They need to get down to the other end of the pool. They need to touch the wall, and they need to make it back. Not too hard a feat, but let's see if they can do it.
Well, certainly what makes this competition difficult is the materials that they are allowed to use in this particular race. Now, I understand, Randy, is it just cardboard?
It's just cardboard, and it's just the kids. Now, they do get some help from Mr. Campbell, but it's basically just them and the cardboard.
So safe to say if the boats sink, Mr. Campbell obviously did a poor job in preparing these kids for this particular competition.
Yeah, he may beg to differ, though. He may say that he taught them all he could, and it was really up to them.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we have a second annual Campbell Cardboard Regatta, and I guess that'll largely depend upon the success of the first one. As now we see the boats in the water, it looks like Joe Jardine and Quentin Turner are pretty amped up and ready to go, and some difficulty by some of the other guys here. I got to tell you, Randy, I'm not so sure that this is going to be a successful competition today.
So far already, the 3Js have abandoned their American flag. Now, where is their spirit? Oh, and they're off.
And the competition is underway, and I got to say, this is as a unique situation as I've ever experienced in my life. There are multiple ways to make your way down the field, and we can see in lane 1 the 3Js have already succumbed to the elements.
If you see, the Shockers are actually in the lead. They are ahead of Shoulda Listened. Not for long. The Shockers are down. Looks like the competition goes to Shoulda Listened, but can they make it to the wall?
Still a lot of time left, and how much longer will their bolt hold? I see a little bit of concern in the face of Quentin Turner right now. Not so sure he should have went with the glasses in the pool, Randy. I don't know. The chlorine and glasses, couldn't that be a potential dangerous situation?
And the fact that both of them have glasses, the fact that their paddles are just pieces of cardboard, not looking too good.
And I got to tell you, I don't know about the legality of this race, but we see several students near should have listened. That can certainly affect the current in the pool, and I think that Mr. Campbell's going to have to do a little bit better job policing this particular race next time if it does run again.
Looks like the Shockers have abandoned their boat in the water. They're not even trying to get it out at this point. They're just trying to perhaps egg on Shoulda Listened.
So apparently we have what's called a war of attrition right now, which is the only team that can beat Shoulda Listened is themselves. They are the only team that is upright right now, and they are attempting the turn, and they are 25 yards away from glory. Whether or not they are going to be able to achieve that remains to be seen. It looks like they're starting to have a little bit of difficulty, Randy. I don't know.
Perhaps they should hold the sides of the boat. Instead, it looks like they're letting water in.
Once water gets in, I don't think that's a problem that can be stopped. And certainly it looks like they are stuck in their own path right now. Joe Jardine looks like he pushed off the wall, which I was to understand was a violation. Not sure if the camera caught that. I'm probably fairly certain there is no instant replay that we can go back and take a look and check the legality of their turnaround.
But at this point, are there rules? Because it's just them. Or maybe it's not just them. It looks like the crew of the Shockers have taken the Betcha $100 boat and entered the water.
Again, the legality of what's going on right now has to really, really be questioned. Quentin Turner and Joe Jardine are probably going to be in need of a lifeguard shortly, as they seem to be succumbing to the elements of the water. And the only boat that is erect in the water right now is the True Shockers. We don't know where they came from. Am I understanding that Antonio Dunn and Miguel Camacho are pirating the True Shockers?
Yes, but since they entered the competition late, I'm not sure how legit their boat is.
All right, so we can see here now cardboard is just being torn out of the water. We hope that, when all is said and done, Ms. Grossman will be satisfied with the cleanup that has taken place. Quentin Turner looks a little bit dejected. Joe Jardine, certainly thought, victory was theirs, but, they found a way to just succumb to the elements.
And surprisingly enough, the Betcha $100 boat is actually making it. Maybe they'll make it to the wall.
However, Randy, they started the race late. It looked like they started in the middle of the pool. I don't know if we can call anybody a winner today based upon what's taken place so far.
And as it turns out, they abandoned the vessel.
I've seen a lot of things in my life. I hope there's a lifeguard on duty, because even though they're only in 3.5, 4 feet of water, some shattered egos may make it difficult for some of these people to get out of the pool.
It just looks like we have, disappointment. A pool of disappointment and a pool of tears.
And in an appropriate picture that you see there to the right, it looks like a casket to me, and I think that's how a lot of these students are feeling. So, a valiant attempt by many of these students, but I gotta say, Randy, we would say it was unsuccessful. But if I had to look at an overall winner, you got to think that Quentin Turner and Joe Jardine should have listened. They seem to be afloat for the longest period of time.
And they were the only team to make it to the wall. So while they only made it halfway, well, it was better than everyone else.
As you can see through the video, our boat's beam, it like disintegrated because we forgot to waterproof the center and the insides under the seats too. So that's probably why. And I also didn't hold the seats together.
Well, I guess we have something to build on next year. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. For Randy Wismer, I'm Ian Morris. Take care, folks.